When people talk about Australia, they love to highlight the beaches, the accents, the kangaroos. But you rarely hear them talk about the blood beneath the soil. Because Australia is just like the US. It wasn't discovered. It was invaded.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share. It just popped up on my For You about Australia and how these nasty people are telling the indigenous Australians to go back to wherever they're coming from. Lovelies, I have other beautiful stitches at the end of this video. You just have to watch this video from the beginning to the end. Because when I say that people that look like me globally are suffering up because of the color of our skin, this is exactly what I mean. It doesn't only happen in a particular place, it happens all over the world. Anyways, lovelies, wanna just like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. Share your thought in the comment section of what you think. And
white people in Australia piss and moan and tell people to go back to their own countries is fucking hilarious to me. Unless you're Indigenous, you're also an immigrant, you fucking idiot. And if you didn't come over here legally, your lineage came from English criminals. Not a full set of teeth between the whole fucking lot of you. Watching white people.
This is a screenshot from a video of self-proclaimed neo-Nazi leader Thomas Sewell and his goons violently attacking an Aboriginal sovereign camp in Melbourne, Australia during yesterday's nationwide protest against immigration. Let's get one thing very clear. Without immigration, this country you call Australia would crumble. The infrastructure that you claim is being overwhelmed by immigration would not exist without it. The problem has and will never be immigration. The problem is greedy capitalists who not only control the market, but benefit from it. If you want to protest against the cost of living, then do that. If you want to protest against greedy capitalists, go for it. But do not use black and brown immigrants specifically as scapegoats. Secondly, you can't claim to be proud Australians without acknowledging the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. This is the only group of people who have ethnic ties to this continent. The rest of us migrated here from somewhere else at some point in time. Anyone can be Australian, anyone can be a proud Australian. It is not your ethnicity, it is your nationality. It does not have a colour. As for these degenerates that attacked the peaceful Aboriginal camp unprovoked, might I add, I hope the police get you before karma does, because I know mob do not play when it comes to their elders, their women and their children who were all present at this camp when you violently attacked them. This is a national disgrace that the Aussie media aren't even reporting. This is a screenshot from a video of self-proclaimed neo-Nazi leader Thomas Sewell and his goons violently.
Australia used to be a white-only country. Multiculturalism was enforced on Australians. Australians didn't actually want this. They all reinforced the white Australian policy. Australia used to be a white-only country.
Funny when racists use the word enforced. They always think they're the victim, you know what I mean? Oh, it was enforced on us. No. You set up an institution where people can come in via visas. They apply and they pay money to the government. They just block out all that high-level contextual information and just, it was forced. Well, seeing that you're going to say that, then I have to bring up that fact. When you force yourself upon the Indigenous, force yourself upon their children, force yourself upon their women, and created slave labor, and you took their land, that's the same type of forcing you talk about. Astounding to me that they can literally destroy, take, and maintain power still to this day. But yet, they invite for the boosting of the nation so these citizens, who are mostly white, have a better quality of life. They go, multiculturalism was enforced upon us. I want everyone to look like me. Why do you want everyone to look like you? Why can't everyone just be like, hey, there's a white guy, there's black guys, Asian guys, Indian dude, they all get along. And an Arabic guy, chuck that guy in there as well. It has to be one versus the other. Certain people see the world like they're going from majority to minority. And I don't like that feeling. It's ironic, right? So that is the case. Those people are still coming in the correct way and law-abiding citizens. You, on the other hand, did not do it that way. It pillaged, stole, and Not only that, then you gaslit and didn't acknowledge. And then you have the audacity. It was enforced upon us. I'm just going to have to say it. Racists have no accountability whatsoever.
Hello, my name's Doreen. I'm from Wallara. I live in town. Alice Spring, yeah, my hometown. Hello, my name is everybody. My name is Janet. I'm from Wallara as well, but I live in Sydney now. But I come here and visit my family. We're ready to go hunting tomorrow with Caprice to get bush tucker. And we're gonna go kangaroo down out there and show Caprice some bush tucker and tell stories and with different plants that grows around there and other stuff that we see.
Invasion Day to me is when they came and took our country in force. They did not know handshakes. They came here with the Bible and the gun and the laws that represents them today. The laws that are killing our people. The laws that we must listen to. We have our laws. We have the oldest laws that any white man on this country has. So thank you for joining me on Invasion Day.
What do Aboriginal people think of African black people?
Oh, they love them.
Yeah?
Yes,
Tell them.
absolutely. We love the Africans up here.
Same color. Same color. I like that.
Real good.
Yeah?
Yeah. We love all the African people.
Yes?
Yeah. Same blood and same colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Because they are so open
Yeah.
and they are not afraid to speak their mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
They open up to themselves. And they learn a bit about our culture. And we learn a bit about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
So when you see someone like me, are you what goes through your mind?
Countrymen, we're all the same.
We're all the same.
I feel like you're our brothers and sisters.
So,
Still white people.
one.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. This man is Aboriginal Australian. And no, I'm not trying to insult him or insult, the Aboriginal people, not at all. But the truth is the truth, right? Look at these people. Look at these beautiful people. They all look like his family. All right.
Yes.
You see the man in the black and white picture? That man looks like Zonji's great-grandfather. All right. You see the man with the red cap? That looks like Zonji's cousin.
Yes.
Also, the one next to him looks like his cousin.
Why though.
Well, they all look like his people.
Yes.
But he's confused. And now, a confused man is confusing.
No.
The confused.
I was following along until she missed the mark. I was wondering if she was going to explain why we look alike. Why does that look like his grandpa or my grandpa? Why? Well, the answer is on every continent our people were at. On every single continent on the planet, you find black people. Hello, yes. Not just in Australia or Africa, in every single continent. You'll find us everywhere. That's why we look like him. That's why they look like us. We're literally one people. We expanded. That's how we grow. Okay? Alright. That's why we look alike. In case you're wondering, that's why we are identical, because we're one people. And you'll find us everywhere on the planet. Bye.
Exactly.
Did you know that on August 31st, 2025, recently there was a protest in Australia? There was a protest for people trying to take Australia back, to the good old days of drinking beer, racism, and abusing your wife. Recently, we just witnessed in Australia a group of neo-Nazis attack Aboriginal people. We have witnessed this where there has been no media coverage of this specific incident or no police talking about it. Hi, I'm Shauna. I'm a proud Waka Waka Willy Willy woman, and I live in the land down under, the beautiful country Australia that they call so beautiful. And It is beautiful. I think the country is the most beautiful country in the world. But we allow racism to continue, bigotry to continue, and all because these people aren't educated enough. They don't know anything about classism, their own country, and they still love England so much, even though England doesn't want them. There's a reason they're in this country. And there's a reason why they can't even habitat the whole country. Like, imagine trying to take a country that doesn't even want you. Embarrassing!
When people talk about Australia, they love to highlight the beaches, the accents, the kangaroos. But you rarely hear them talk about the blood beneath the soil. Because Australia is just like the US. It wasn't discovered. It was invaded. And the first thing they tried to do was wipe the oldest living culture off the face of the earth. So let's back up for a second. The Aboriginal people of Australia have been on that continent for 65,000 years. Let that sit. They are the oldest continuous culture on Earth. Not only did they live in harmony with the land, they had complex languages, spiritual systems, astronomy, trade, and none of it was savage or primitive. But when the British showed up in 1788, they saw none of that. They saw a land they wanted and people they thought didn't count. So they claimed the land as nobody's land, like people weren't already living there. And what followed was centuries of massacre, displacement, slavery, and dehumanization. Aboriginal people were hunted like animals. Entire tribes were wiped out. Their water sources were poisoned, children were taken, women were assaulted, men were imprisoned, sometimes for just being Aboriginal. Their language banned, their cultural practices outlawed, their sacred land stolen. They weren't even considered full citizens on their land until 1967. Let me repeat that. The original custodians of that land weren't counted as people until less than 60 years ago. And from the late 1800s to the 1970s, the government had a plan to breed out the black. That's not an exaggeration. That's what they actually called it. They took thousands of Aboriginal children from their families, the stolen generation, and placed them in white homes or church institutions. Sound familiar? They erased their names, told them their families didn't want them. And when those children cried for their mothers, nobody came. Because colonialism isn't just about land. It's about memory. And they were trying to erase it all. So when you hear people talk about Australia like it's just another Western paradise, know this. There's blood in the soil and trauma in the air. And the world is still catching up to the truth. Because Aboriginal people didn't just survive genocide. They preserved the oldest culture on the planet through it. And that's resistance. That's legacy. That's a miracle that colonizers couldn't kill, no matter how hard they tried.
Telling me to go back where I come from or to my own country or deport me or whatever. Sorry, but what do you think I am / from? What's happening? I'm like 100%. I can understand if an Aboriginal person was saying it, but my fellow Australians are saying it to me. Where am I from? I'm 100% white, West European.
Oh, we don't see color. Color doesn't mean anything. You see color. If someone speaks, sounds, or looks a certain way, they might be completely Australian. It doesn't matter. They're exhibiting more traits stereotypically of Islander does, or what a black person does, or an Asian, or really about who you are on the inside, or about how you present. What is an Australian and what's it meant to look like? If Australians are looking at him going, go back to where you're from, they have the moral standing, the ethical, cultural nationalism to be like, you're not from here, get out. Everyone always goes, stop being a victim, it's not about race. To my understanding, the person who actually is white, who doesn't present as white, tell him to go back. So I can tell him to go back, what do you think they're going to tell me?
Aboriginal people are the real Australians. Well, Australians are actually the people who created Australia. They're the people who created the political and legal institutions which have come to form Australia's recognition as a country internationally. Those people are white. Aboriginal people refer to themselves as sovereign people, as First Nations people. And the reason they do that is to not have their identity overcoded by the one that we created. That is why you will have Aboriginal activists say, Aboriginal people are not Australian. They do not recognise the political or ethnic identity of Australian as being theirs because they recognise it as being distinctly white.
Good afternoon, Pe.Ple. Namblumi Hatham. This isn't a poem, but it's just a quick message that needs to be said. If you are not Aboriginal, then you are an immigrant, okay? The other thing that needs to be said, European Australians never assimilated to Aboriginal culture or values, so don't expect others to assimilate to European Australia. Eso.
The most racist thing I ever had to witness towards an Aboriginal person or people was when I was about 14 years old. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm going to use the word that they used. It's not the worst word you could use towards an Aboriginal person, but I want to use the word because I want it to have full effect. I don't want to censor anything. I want it to be as disgusting and reprehensible as it was. So, disclaimer, I will use the word. But when I was 14, again, I made this point in my first video discussing this, that my parents never really talked about Aboriginals. My dad had some offhand comments, but I never really witnessed them being racist to an Aboriginal person. It was more just the lack of discussion about them. However, when I was 14, I was in my friend's car and we were going to the Adelaide Swimming Centre. And in order to do that, we had to go through the city. When you go through the CBD in Adelaide, you drive through a lot of parks. And there was one park where there was a group of Aboriginal people in a circle talking to one another. I didn't think anything of it. And my friend and his mum who was driving, my friend and I were in the back seat. And he was on the window facing the Aboriginal people, and without saying anything, without even coordinating it, his mum and him rolled down their windows, and both of them at the same time shouted, "Coons!" and then rolled the window up. And I was just sitting in the back seat like, why would you do that? It was the strangest thing. And I really couldn't understand it. And it was such a strange moment that I didn't really know what to say. But I will say I didn't spend a lot of more time with that friend and his family. But I don't understand how someone can be that openly hostile to anyone that hasn't done anything wrong to them. And so when people talk to me about racism in Australia, well, at least in the past, I would get really defensive because I would think to myself, well, I'm not racist and I've never been racist and, you know, my family wasn't that racist. But then I remember that moment and I think there really are some awful people out there. And, yeah, it's just a moment that I hang on to when I really need a reminder that even though I mightn't be the most racist, well, I don't think I'm racist at all, but it doesn't mean that there aren't some extremely hurtful people out there that are doing these things regularly that would really hurt the Aboriginal people. So anyway, I just wanted to share that story. It was reprehensible. It was awful. And it's a shame that's happening, but hopefully something can be done about that.
Like, seriously, lovelies, as someone who is so invested on Black history, when I came across this Australian riot or Australian, controversy happening all over the social platform, I was shocked by all of the information I'm getting. I'm so invested by Black history that anytime I see one, I just want to take my time and learn. And I have said earlier, and I have said on my previous teachings, that I am somebody that want to learn. I'm somebody that's teachable. I am not here to like, oh, no, you don't. No. So, this is the first time. This is the first time I'm hearing that there have Indigenous Australians. God. This is the first time I'm hearing that. So there are some group of people who migrated to, like, who found, just like Indigenous people in the US and all of that. They have that in Australia. What knows, or where else do we have? And I heard something like that about this newfound cousins. Where is their name? Seriously. So there was crisis going on, and it happens that these nice people, attack some group of immigrants, telling them to go back to their country, even if they are also immigrant. Have you ever seen an immigrant telling another immigrant to go back to their country? Some people now even claim that Australia is supposed to be a white country. People are so delusional. Like, some people are claiming right about now. Some people, you know who I'm talking about, are claiming right about now that Australia is supposed to be a white country, that people or some other people need to go back to their country. How can you be an invader? Someone who goes to steal and to destroy. Now, the same way you migrated, other people migrated the same way. Now you're telling these people to go back because you feel that your own color is more representing to inherit or to become the indigenous owner of Australia. Just the same thing that is happening all over the world. Like sometimes, anytime my grandparent, or especially my granddad, who I'm very very close to, anytime he tells me most of these stories, I was like, why is it that people that look like me are just so hated all over the world? Like, why? What is it? What have we done? What did we do? Like, what have we done? He was like, oh, maybe because you're a chosen person. Like, seriously, all over the world, the same thing, um, the same colonization, invasion. Like, what is wrong with these people? Can't they just have their own land and stay there? Must they want to come invade people's land and property? And before you know it, they are claiming the indigenous owners of the land. That was why I decided that I was going to make, more of this research to actually look for the real indigenous owners of the land. And they're actually people that looks like me. Like, oh my goodness. There are really, really so much history that is out there. There are so many things out there that is yet to be revealed. When I saw this, I was so amazed. I was like, truly, people that look like me are actually the first people who ever existed on the planet Earth. Not only that, all humanity, all human actually came from someone that looks like me. That is where we have the Eve gene that can actually birth any kind of race. There is this thing on the social platform that has been going on for a while. It's a conversation about fair and mix. So many people actually thought that, maybe in West Africa or down in Africa, that you can find fair people. I have tried as much as I can in the comment section to explain to so many people that you can actually find a black person on a fair skin. You can find a black person on a fair skin, and you can find most of them in West Africa. Seriously, they are not biracial. Their father and their mother are black people. Like, but they are as fair as a pan-colored person. You can find what we call albinos. You can find extremely white people, but they refer to them as fair because they are not white. They are melanin or black people, but with a fair skin. I'll try as much as I can to try to explain to people in the comment section. Whenever I see that discourse, I think I have to do some research and put it up here. But people do not want to listen. A black woman can actually bet any race. That is why they say, oh, humanity actually started from Africa. Maybe from there, then I migrated, or anywhere so many other people believe that humanity started from. But in all being said, people that looks like me
or a black person is actually the first person who actually existed in the planet Earth before every other person came to be. But when you try to explain to somebody, they wouldn't want to understand. But like I said earlier on, I am teachable. If you feel that, oh, it's not possible, then leave in the comment section, because I also want to know. But I am saying based on what I have seen. I have seen a male and a female who is so light in complexion, but their both parents are black people. That is it. I have seen that. Anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next
just
one.
leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thoughts, subscribe, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.